Hello, apa khabar semua? Welcome everyone to FPL Jedi Show. This is Gameweek 16 Deadline stream. My name is Hafiz and definitely would like to welcome Azmin to the stream. How are you, brother? You're on mute, Min?
I'm good. It was not as great as I hoped for the game week 15, but Green Arrow is still good. So yeah, looking forward.
Yep, I think to be fair, Game 15 is not that high in terms of an average point. But you still, can I say a successful wildcard week, Min? What do you feel?
So I would think so. At the moment, it's decent. So of course, when you wildcard to have success for a longer period of time, but at least, you would want to start off well, and I think relatively I did okay. And so yeah, some few disappointing, but then there were some disappointments, but then the rest of the field probably experienced the same problem as well. So yeah.
Yep. I think later we touch about your team because I think one of the hero of TAA, that's is definitely the one who's also so under the radar. You pick up him and immediately reward you. I think that's the best thing that could happen in your wildcard team. I think let's jump straight to your team. What you did in game week 15? You scored 46 points. The average point was 37 points, and that's where your rank from Green Arrow 4 million to 3.49 million.
Yep. So I wildcarded and it went relatively well. So I just decided to go for a different strategy. I went 5 at the back, and which meant I spent a lot of money and have some cheaper fillers in the front. But actually, when you look at it, it's it's no more different than say if you had more expensive midfielders and 3-5-2, because at the back, at the fillers in the bench are all cheap anyway. So the first thing I did was, of course, the keeper thing, which is Dubravka and Kelleher, the two cheapest goalies on offer thanks to some injuries. Kelleher, and unfortunately I chose the right one, which is the Liverpool keeper over the Newcastle keeper. So I got a clean sheet out of that. So decent start. And of course, TAA, my hero for the week, getting 12. It would have been beautiful. I had captain him as well, but you can't win them all, of course. Pedro Porro, whom I had before I wildcarded, so not surprising that he did come out with return. Unfortunately, the other three of my 5-man backline all failed to return. And frustratingly, but I guess I shouldn't be too surprised, Zinchenko was benched because the rumor leading up to it was that he may be benched, and he was. Fortunately, it didn't damage me somewhat because he came in and a lot of the field had double Arsenal defense. And even those who had one also, so it kind of equalized it in the end, because you got Gabriel with 1 point, considering the high scoring Arsenal Luton match, which ended 3-4, I think it was. The real surprise of my 5-back line was James getting benched again. So Pochettino's comments after the match was that he wanted to warm him up and not throw him in, which is a bit odd. But I guess because he did skip 1 week, so maybe that's why, and just wants to be careful. In any case, I'm not fussed about it too much because I knew the risk I'm taking with James, pretty much like my risk with Darwin when I took Darwin on. So as long as he plays once a week and covers, then it's good for me, as long as I have the bench to make up for it, which I do. Another main reason for me to wildcard was Son. Unfortunately, he was disappointing. Didn't do much, and Spurs were, they say they were tired, against West Ham, but but in the end they didn't do anything much, falling to West Ham. Salah unfortunately blanked against Sheffield United. It was one of the things that we were worried about, but of course, because Son and Haaland, who were the two main captaincy candidates, also blanked, so in the end it didn't hurt. Palmer scored from open play, so that's great. So just puts to bed all the doubts about him actually being able to score if he doesn't have a penalty. But at the end of the day, underlying data doesn't lie, and it would show that he would eventually come good. Gordon blank, so I've now got back Gordon, and later on we'll look at how something we didn't realize before about Newcastle, but he's in it for the long haul as well. So on the bench, got Dubravka Mope, who only scored 2, but unexpectedly may be the main focus now with Mbuemo out. So if you notice, I actually in my wild card I decided to sell Mbuemo because I needed some money to make space for my defense, and turns out it turned out to be, although Mbuemo did score, but it turned out to be okay for the long run. So Semenyo and Kluivert they were fillers in the sense that they're cheap, but at the same time they are starting. They do get starts, so hopefully they'll be able to step up when I need to. So all in all, 46. I'm not sure what the week average was. Do you have the
37. 37.
37. Okay, so 9 above the average. So it's not bad. It could have been better, but given how the week went for most, I guess I should come out feeling happy.
Yep, for sure. I think you're in the right spot, especially people are talking about TAA. People talk about how to accommodate Trippier. We already have those. And I think, can I say Pedro Porro also another one that catching eye FPL managers right now, because he actually produced 5 points. Spurs lost 1-2. He produced an assist. He got a yellow card, but still got 2 bonus points, man. So what's that tell you? So means that Porro is actually producing the outputs. He's the main man. Because Mendes is not there, he's taking all the set piece duty. I think he's a real deal. I think these are the 3 perfect defender. If budget not an issue, the TAA, Trippier, and Porro. Okay, also for the long haul, the James Zinchenko one is your preference because you want to go heavy at the back. But unfortunately, I also surprised that James did not start that match. So means that it also indicates to managers like us who has not jumped into Reece James that his minutes will be managed and uncertain. So I think that's what worries for whoever try to jump in any Chelsea asset. What do you think, man?
Yeah, it is. I would say that the good thing is that Gallagher is back. Will be back for this weekend, and I think Gallagher will works much better in the center, in front, behind the strikers. So hopefully that will, better than Palmer was at number 10. I think Gallagher is better suited. So I do feel that those who have Chelsea assets should hang on to them. So James, of course, because he started on bench, surely he gets a start this weekend. So my projection for now is that for every weekend he should start. So if there's a midweek, he might be benched or he comes in as a sub. But of course, once again, the reminder for anyone looking at Reece James, he will not get 90 minutes especially for this period. We'll see what happens, but at the moment 90 minutes is a no, so know the risks that you are taking.
I just want to touch also on your goalkeeper pairing, Kelleher and Dubravka. Those are the perfect 3.94 million combo. Despite Dubravka concede 3 goals, he actually got 1 save point. So that's where he still got that 2 points. But kudos to you. You actually played Kelleher and got 6 points. But the other major concern arising right now, you did tweet or mention to me that Alisson looks like back to full training, is it? But I'm not sure whether he's ready to start, right?
Yeah, so fun news for me. Alisson looks like he was back in training, but there's a still decision to make upon him. But I'm probably going to start Kelleher anyway, and hope, because even Dubravka injury news came out that he may have taken a couple of knocks, but he should be okay. And because Newcastle doesn't play today, they play
Sunday.
Yeah, so the last match of the. So but then it is against Spurs, so I'd rather have Kelleher as my keeper.
Okay, all right, good stuff. Let's go to my team. I scored 38 points, only 1 point over average point. Can I say? But I should not be complaining because I still got that green arrow. To a surprise to me, I think below 40 I can consider is like a low points scoring. So 435,000 to 390,000, I will not complain. I will take it, and I think it's good that I continue the momentum. but you can see the lot of yellow and red flags in my team right now. I just run through because I think the saddest thing is Arula. Whoever thought, right? I mean, this is definitely not a news that we prepared. He actually called off as injured and did not play any minutes. And when I knew that news, I was thinking like, oh man, maybe I should have made the Dubravka move. But it is something that we do not know. Okay, so Arula 0 points. We'll take a look at the SM news later. Gabriel 1 point. Yeah, Arsenal lost 4-3. I think whoever double up, like as we mentioned, will be more frustrating because they got Saliba last week in game week 14 for the Wolves and Luton Town match and did not get any clean sheet or any big points from Saliba Gabriel points. And to an extent, I think some managers might also continue that uh, double up because there's a lot of injury that you need to tackle. Other than that, I have Lascelles only 1 point. Yeah, yellow flag. Maybe later we touch whether he's okay or not for this week. I think Simikas, Liverpool win 2-0, clean sheet, but Simikas did not play any minutes. But can I say a lucky one because Everton kept a clean sheet against Newcastle and got that 6 points. So I'll take it. I'll take it because I think I deserve that 6 point because Simika should have got that 6 point, right? So I will not say anything on that, right? So I think I deserve that 6 point. So in midfield, Captain Salah, but to be frank, even the likes of Haaland, Salah, Son, to understand what Kings like, I have only 1 point and Saka only 5 points. I think he's the biggest one who actually contribute the big points in terms of the best captaincy candidate. We'll talk about every week then. Other than that, Mbomo got 1 goal, but he's a long injury right now. Saka continue to tick even though only one assist, all right, from that 4-3 Luton Town match. And Son 2 points. Palmer, I think he stick along. I think if you're worried later in terms of who's the right Mbomo replacement, I think there's plenty enabler I can say. And yep, Watkins blank, yellow card, 1 point. I will not say anything because he's the hero last week, scoring 11 points. Continue this week, another tough match. But surely, I think that's the match that we're going to face. That's my team, man.
Yeah, definitely with Brentwaite, you cocked it, so well done. Because Simikas didn't get the. I don't know because you watch the match?
The Everton Newcastle.
The Liverpool one.
Oh, the Liverpool. Oh, not really. But I actually. Yeah.
Because I can imagine people like you, like yourself, because let's say you're at the 75th minute, you're starting to pray that Simikas doesn't come on, because, but then at the same time, at the time Everton hadn't played yet. Yeah, so you wouldn't have known that Brentwaite would actually keep a clean sheet for you. And I have to say that you're one of the few that I know who actually had someone good come in for Simikas, because plenty of people got damaged by Simikas. I of course sold him off from the wild card because I went for the premium TAA. So I didn't have that problem. Yeah, but so I think you came out of it reasonably okay. So it's just a case of managing your squad. And I think one thing, like the Simikas absence is not something that we should be too surprised, because it will happen in this December. Darwin was benched, for example. Neither of us had Darwin. I no longer have Darwin, for example. And it definitely, you need that squad to manage. And for you, Hafiz, you arranged it rightly, because if it had been Taylor in front, it'd be just an extra point. So yeah, well done.
Yeah. All right. I think let's now continue to focus for game week 16. But before that, would like to welcome Master 98 to the stream. Hello, Azmin, Hafiz. Hello. And also All Sports fan Adam also here. He did ask about, hey, you guys, do you think Kalia plays tomorrow? I have Arela also sold up. I think Azmin did mention he confident that Kalia still continue even though Alisson back in training, right, man?
No, I'm not confident. but I'm
Oh,
going to, I'm going to feel Kelleher because on the assumption that maybe they decide to give a bit more time for Allison, um, and no doubt, midweek is a Champions League match, but then that's also I mean Liverpool. No, sorry, not Champions League. I'm sorry, Europa. But
Europa
Liverpool
League.
have qualified anyway, so I don't know whether how Klopp will handle it. I do feel that it's still okay for him to play Kelleher now and just wait, make sure Alisson's properly fit because it's going to be really grueling after this, especially with there'll be matches like against Manchester United, for example. So I would still play Kelleher
Yep.
if you have him, but if you don't have him yet, maybe not. It's not a good time to pick him up. Unfortunately,
for sure.
thankfully for myself, at least I still have I did choose a playing backup keeper in my wild card, which is Dubravka. So assuming he goes well, then I'm still okay. But yeah, don't go for Kelleher now if you don't have it.
Yep, for sure. I think I am more optimistic than Azmin. I feel Kelleher will start this week, and you should play Kelleher over Arla, even though maybe Arla has some chance to play because he's actually facing a Chris Miller who now at woeful form, right? Okay, let's jump into game week 16 fixture main. Quickly, we run through the deadline. Will be at 7 p.m. Today because the first match, who else, which is Crystal Palace versus Liverpool, man. We have a team league news. I think probably we might not have. So you can decide whether Kelleher gonna start this game or even the likes of Simikas. I'm more confident of Simikas because he did not play any minutes against Sheffield United. Yeah, all right. And then at 11 p.m. Malaysian time, we have 4 matches. We have Brighton versus Burnley. I think this is another, they mentioned probably a money ball game because Brighton is really attacking team against Burnley, who we know is a one-off performance against Sheffield United before, final drubbing. And then we have Manchester United at home again against Bournemouth. But Bournemouth is not, can I say, a team that we can select now because they're also in the run. We have Sheffield United versus Brentford. Can Chris Wilder continue? Raise the level for his players. But now against a Brentford side who are going to miss Bomo for sure. And then we have Wolves versus Forest. There's also an indication for Steve Cooper job at risk if he lose this game. This will be his 5 consecutive defeat if he's continue that momentum. And then we have Villa versus Arsenal. Easily the biggest game of this week because Villa, who actually on rise, defeating Manchester City 1-0 at home, and now another task against Arsenal, who are also in the rise because they are top of the league right now. On Sunday, 10 p.m., we have Everton versus Chelsea. We have Fulham versus West Ham, the London Derby, and then we have Luton Town versus Man City. Man City will need to bounce back against this game, and I think this is the perfect match for them. And then the last game, for sure, Spurs versus Newcastle, another big game. So what you can say about Game 16 fixture?
Well, there's again, bearing in mind there's a lot because there's not much time since the midweek, but of course there's plenty of opportunities. I want to point out Manchester United versus Bournemouth. So those teams are both on the up with great records moving into this match. Bournemouth have recovered. Iraola has really finally made his team click, and they haven't lost in the past 4 or 5 games. It was neither, and then you also have Manchester United have only lost 1 game in the last 5. So definitely that's one match to go for, and by reputation, of course, you think Manchester United will overpower Bournemouth, but it may not be so straightforward given that Bournemouth are in great form at the moment. And how Manchester United lineup will be interesting. So, just scanning through the rest of the matches, another interesting match could be Everton versus Chelsea. Everton have pulled themselves out of the relegation zone again after dropping down from the 10-pointer deduction that they got last time around.
Yep.
So somehow
they are now off from the relegation bottom 3.
Yeah. So now they go against Chelsea. So that will be another interesting match. And let's not forget there's one London derby going on this week, which is Fulham versus West Ham. So again, Fulham, like Bournemouth, seem to have got some vibe and really recovered and doing well. And the last time out, they gave Liverpool a running before they finally lost 3-4, and then they trashed Forest by 5 goals. So now they're against West Ham, who are also buoyed by the fact that the last London derby, which was a few days ago, was against Spurs, and they won that one as well. So it will be definitely a fiery matchup, and it'll be interesting to see. Unfortunately, with all the injuries a lot of injuries here and there that we have, we may not be able to bring players like from Fulham, for example, even if we wanted to, despite they are quite decent.
All right, man. Those are the matches. I think easily the two big match that we are looking forward this week is Villa versus Arsenal, and also Spurs to Newcastle to an extent. Spurs, if I'm right, they are out the back of 4 consecutive defeat, if I'm right.
Yeah.
So their form really not in the right place, but they have a chance now against a depleted side, Newcastle. We shall see. All right, man. Let's jump to the team news and presser. For sure, we want to know from the quick turnaround who's available, who's suspended, and who's in doubt to play this game week. Hopefully, we can give some good point to our viewers on how you're going to manage the transfer for this week. Let's go jump first to Crystal Palace versus Liverpool. More attention to Liverpool as said. The likes of, we did mention about Kelleher, Darwin, and also Simikas. So what's the latest news?
So quick news on the Liverpool side. Alisson looks like he could be ready to return. So if you don't have Kelleher already, now might not be a good time to train him. I, of course, have only had him for 1 week and may end up losing it. But given the time in between the matches, I'm not sure, as well what we talked about just now, Hafiz seems confident that Kelleher will start. I'm not so confident, but I will start him anyway because, if he doesn't start, then Dubravka will come in, hopefully. So the only other issue is that Alistair has picked up a knock, so apparently it's quite major. So to be fit for Gameweek 16, I think they're not going to risk it. To be fair, he does have like Curtis Jones to be available to start the match, and there's Enzo also to deputize as well. So you got Endo, you got Gravenberch, who should return to the starting lineup as well, and Soboslai, of course, fits in nicely as well. Also, Darwin Núñez should definitely return to the starting lineup. So those are just with Darwin across the shirt. He will start. Scoring is another story. I'll leave you to it because I've left that wagon. So, but to be fair, the biggest news with this matchup is the fact that Tyrick Mitchell is out. So Tyrick Mitchell, if you notice that he plays on the left side, and who is going to attack on that side? Well, it's
Mo Salah.
Yeah, so that's the thing. And the problem with Crystal Palace is they haven't looked great of recently and look bad. In fact, there was also a tiff between Roy Hodgson and the fans, to which Roy Hodgson did apologize after, but there's a lot of problems going on there. Other than that, Eze, of course, is definitely not up. It's definitely still up. And of course, there's a bit of worry with Olise, given that he's only, he had a long time off from injury, so we don't know he will recover. Whether or not they'll give him enough rest, whether he's okay, or they just want to be more careful with him. So that's it for that. But given the situation, you've got to heavily favor Liverpool for this one. Just that it's the early match.
Yeah, I think that's another thing. But it's interesting one. You did mention about Mitchell unavailability, and there'll be opportunity Salah as a captaincy candidate this week. If you think this kind of news are relevant for you to decide in your captaincy. Another one that Roy Hassan did mention about Eze. If you think about any near return for Eze, is unlikely because Hodgson did mention he's still in protective boot, so that's still a long way, I suppose, with that kind of news. And this is the great time to play Palace because they are not really in the decent form. So just nice for Liverpool. Okay, let's go to the next one, which is Brighton versus Burnley. We know, I don't know, there's still interest in terms of Brighton asset because I think if later when we look at fixture ticker, the fixture are swing into a good thing. But we know Brighton is full of player that um, susceptible to rotation and so on. So what's the latest news?
So just to quickly Burnley first. So the problem with Burnley is that sure they trashed Sheffield United, but then in the end they got brought down to earth by Wolves last week, and now they also have one of the better players, Koleosho, could be out as well. So I'm not sure for how long, but it seems like it's quite long. It's a knee injury, so that means that Tressor, who I don't know, I've never done any research, come in, but it doesn't look great for Burnley all over again. Brighton, we know that the last time out they won against Brentford. Obviously, maybe a bit helped by Mbeumo being absent, but it's a win that Brighton will be happy with, and they'll hope to continue it before they head into their Europe fixture, which by all accounts is a must-win. To be fair, because this match is on a Saturday, which means they have plenty of time to prepare for the Europa, which means that they will definitely push out their best squad that they can for this weekend. Having said that, we do notice that Pedro always seems to be more of a European specialist. They keep playing Pedro in the midweek Europe matches, but then of course the last midweek, Pedro was there and helped himself again. So another important news is that Dunk is back. So we know another reason why we all clamored for Brentford players last midweek was because also Dunk was suspended, but no one could have foreseen Mbeumo getting injured. Anyway, so hopefully Dunk as captain would have learned his lesson and not get unnecessarily sent off silly. He's the captain.
It's really a quick one, right? A yellow card and a red card straight for dissent.
Yeah, so learn this season. You know already. You're the captain. You know that they are coming down hard on these things. You want to contest politely, because when you got lucky, Louis Dunk, you got lucky that your team won without you. If they had lost, then questions would be asked of you.
All right, man. That's for Brighton versus Burnley news. Let's go to the next one. Manchester United versus Bournemouth. You have a couple of Bournemouth players this game week. Maybe you are also interested into the team news for Bournemouth and Manchester United. So what's the latest news?
So we see Anthony is already back in and doing decently, although still not scoring. But Garnacho, he's really putting his mark on the team, and at the expense of Mr. Marcus Rashford. So we can see the amount of effort that he puts in, and compared to how much Rashford puts in, and it's a serious problem. But the argument is that at the end of ETH can't afford not to play Rashford for other reasons. Because some sponsorship issues or some, I don't know, some back end commercial decisions. But the reality is he plays much better with Garnacho. The Manchester United play much better with Garnacho at the side, because Garnacho definitely puts in the effort. But so it'll be interesting. I mentioned at the start just now about Manchester United versus Bournemouth being a quite interesting matchup, because both teams are on the up. Iraola, of course, has galvanized the team, as we know, and he will do so. This match can be no serious injuries no new injuries for Bournemouth, so it promises to be a great match.
Yep, I think I like this match. We shall see whether Bournemouth can continue. I think actually I watched this match, Manchester United versus Chelsea in the midweek. Yep, they have been at the front run and aggressive during that match. No surprise, they win that game, but it could have easily been a bigger scoreline. I can say that, because Garnacho has been everywhere and really threatening in goals. And there's also talk about, could Garnacho be another potential replacement from Bomo? He's really cheap at 4.9 million, and you could actually use that money to get the likes of TAA or Trippier at the back. I think that's also entice managers to think whether that could be a possibility. I think that could be a possibility, man. What do you think?
Yeah, it is, but I just want to, let's not discount the other guy, which is Scott McTominay. So he's the guy who ended up scoring both goals last weekend, but last midweek. But I think one of the issues is that his underlying stats aren't great. But reality is he pops up when they need a goal. So he's like the Jesse Lingard of West Ham 3 seasons ago. Underlying stats, was bad, but somehow managed to pop in. And, we keep going off him, not taking him seriously. So I don't know. When are we going to take McTominay seriously? I'm not sure because I certainly don't have space for him at the moment. but I definitely need to take it into account because at the end of the day, some of these players will score FPL points in spite of their underlying stats. And McTominay does look like he's one of them. And he plays in a more advanced position for his national team and where he's in a position to always score goals. So he has that ability. It's just that when it comes to Manchester United, the midfield is a bit problematic in terms of the defensive. Casemiro is still out. So that's why McTominay is there. Having said that, he's been doing well. Definitely. This is going to be a hard matchup, but after this matchup, McTominay for me deserves a serious look.
All right. Okay. We shall see. We keep on both of them at our watch list. All right. Next game in Sheffield United versus Brentford. Could Chris Wilder got his crucial win at home against Brentford, who are, I think Thomas Frank already declared that Mbeumo going to be out for a while. What's latest news?
Yep, so Mbeumo definitely out. So when he said out for Saturday and for weeks, now this is a very busy month. So if he gets in back by Christmas, I'd be surprised. So and plus the fact that let's not forget that Brentford blank in game week 18 anyway.
Yeah.
So
thank you for pointing
but I
that
know
out.
it's frustrating for plenty of managers who only just brought him in this week or the week before. Yeah, so it's a bit, it does hurt, but that's FPL for you. Sheffield United, they put up a good fight against Liverpool last time out, blanking Salah in the process. And the score was 1-0 for most of it until towards the very end when Sheffield left a bit open and Szoboszlai was able to sneak in. So it's credit to Sheffield United under Wilder. It looks like there might be some improvements. So we'll see whether or not there'll be further improvements on this side. So of course on the Brentford side, you'd expect that Maupay, Wissau came on as a sub in midweek. So Mosa, in the absence of Mbeumo, I expect Maupay and Wissau to both start. One more thing is Nogard, who was suspended last week, midweek, but he's back. And Jensen may not be ready yet. So which is quite important. Jensen has been quite a player. He also takes set pieces. So without him, it does blunt Brentford a bit. Without Jensen and Mbeumo.
Right. I think one thing that we can talk about is Mbeumo. Azmin did mention, I think really in return when we decide whether we should stick Mbeumo or let him lose, I think we should sell him because all those factors that Azmin did mention. Okay. And then Azmin did mention about Mbeumo will be out for weeks. We're not sure until when. But the most important thing is the blank game week 18 because for sure you want to fill out a player in that week because if you have the likes of Haaland and Mbeumo, most likely you want your two bench player to come in. But now you get rid of Mbeumo and don't worry about a two bench player to come in. And another point, you did mention if he ready after that, there is actually the AFCON Cup, right? So if he's ready, then he needs to go there after game week 20 anyway. So I think he's an easy sell from my point of view. So that's what I believe. Yep.
Agreed. No argument there.
Okay. I think another point from Chris Wilder's side is actually we are actually looking at potential cheap player. We want to see the lineup of Wilder, maybe up to 18 if you still think some of consideration in terms of especially I think Archer still continue to get that 90 minutes last week. We shall see this week because McBurney already ready. he might straight come in because this is while the player last time who actually performed. So we shall see the team news. Let's go to the next one, man. Woes versus Forest. I think Woes really are on form right now, but Forest are really need points. So and there's a lot of interest in terms of Huang Hichan, man. So what the latest news?
Yep. Biggest news for Wolves is, of course, they have Jose Sa back. To be fair, Bentley has been quite decent in Sa's short absence, so he's done relatively well. Altnori is not ready, and all the remaining same. More importantly, of course, Neto is still out. But of course, at the end of the day, Wolves are really happy that they're probably really happy that they won against Burnley and ending a series of unlucky losses. Okay, so on the Forest side, Forest are in deep trouble. So there's definitely some issues with the captain and one of his players banned from training together with the rest of the team. I'm not sure. We've no real info as to what's going on there, but there's definitely signs of discontent in the Forest's dressing room. So other than that, you've got of course Awonye and Ore are definitely out. But at the end of the day, you'd think that there may still be some shake up in the lineup if Steve Cooper wants to try to fix things. So all in all, it looks good for Wolves, and I put my hand up and say not to bring in Huang because he had 4 yellows, and so he's still on 4 yellows, and so we'll see whether or not he can continue. But the thing is, if you were those of you who subscribe to Fantasy Football Scout, you take a look at his heat map. His heat map's really good in terms of where his shots are, and also his shot map. He's really taking a lot of good positions to take shots. What he does, he's not central all the time, but he will come in. And I think, and this comes back to that comment a few months ago made by Gary O'Neill with regards to his positioning, how they're working on him to arrive at the box at the right time. And it's paying off. So well done, those of you who still have Huang. Of course, those who are thinking of bringing him in now also have to remember again that the Asia Cup's coming, and he's still, and the fact that he's still on yellow will also be a deterrent. But I guess if you have a good bench, then why not?
Okay, understand me. I think this also interest match in terms of Huang coming into play as a potential more replacement. And what else that you can think of when you're actually facing a poor Forest side at home? So potential another double digit points because Huang did scored 10 points last week, man, right? So this could be another match that coming into your plate and you can take him. The only thing Azmin did mention about him are the 2 factor. He's on 4 yellow cards. And the other one, anyway, he's going to soon go to the Asian Cup. So that is much deterrent, Azmin did mention. And but if you feel it's not something that you should concern and you want to take advantage and this is where you think Huang could explode again, then I guess you just do it. All right, let's go to the next match, man. Aston Villa versus Arsenal, the big one, man. And pretty sure both teams are up to this match and should be no injury concern me. What do you think?
Yeah, so nothing silent. So it's just a kind of case of whether or not they fit for Arsenal. And even from the Arteta side, the main thing is that White came back into the lineup last midweek and of course Arsenal won that one and White got an assist, highlighting how good he is moving forward. Zinchenko was benched for Kwiasaw in midweek, but he should return back to the starting lineup. So how they line up will be a question, I guess. So if you remember, Havertz did score last time out, but Jinkers did as well. So Arteta has been a bit more better this season in terms of rotating his squad, keeping fit. So you'd expect that to happen. Now, so this should be a good matchup. Of course, on the Villa side, you would think that Watkins, and to a much lesser extent, Douglas Lewis would be your only picks to really consider. On the Arsenal side, obviously, with Jesus returning, and then you have Zinchenko, Saka. So the problem in investing too much in Arsenal attackers is the concern that their goals are being spread out amongst the players. So that's a bit of a worry lah for that. So, but you have to bear that risk.
Yep, I think I agree with that. Another point I just want to make, another potential Bomo replacement. You had him before, Douglas Lewis, 5.5 million, 5.6 million. Interest because in terms of last match against Man City, 22 shots again over 6 shots, something like that from City.
Yeah,
And
so the
Lewis
problem,
really
of course,
on everything, set piece, and also hit the ball.
yeah. So
But the problem is he's on 4 yellow cards.
Yeah, he's on 4 yellow cards, as you say. But also, the fact that he has so many shots also that not scoring shows that he's not a true bred striker. But he is. Let's remember that he is on penalties. Yeah. So
Yep.
So that's so if he was without penalties, Watkins' value would go even higher because you would think that Watkins is on, but clearly Watkins isn't on penalties. So he hasn't returned in the last 2 games, Douglas Lewis. But you can never discount him off. It's just that we need to get rid of that perception that he's a holding midfielder, which he is for most. But then when they attack, he does bombard up. He has arrived in the box quite a lot of times than I would have expected than before. And because the fact that he has a good goal scoring record this season, just proves that.
Yep. I think I agree with that, man. I think the only reason that we might not hype about him is because he's on 4 yellow cards. The fixtures is there because yes, Arsenal, but then after that, Brentford at the most critical one is on the Gameweek 18, the blank Gameweek 18. They're playing at home against Sheffield United. That's the money ball game that people are eyeing. So that's the news for Villa and Arsenal. Let's go to the next one, man. Everton versus Chelsea, my club. Chelsea has not been in terms of momentum. They're still up and down, but they're facing against Everton side who are good, especially at the home, man. So what's the latest news?
So one thing is with Everton is about Pickford. So we don't know I don't know what the story is. There's some minor injuries. Hopefully he's fit and well to get a recovery. Most likely he may be okay. It's something to do with his knee, according to Sean Dyke. Yeah, so they'll find out. But at the moment, he claims that he doesn't think it's anything serious. So we'll see. Now, obviously, Everton are in a good streak of form, so the best way to continue that form is to keep having the same lineup. So they will probably maintain that same lineup by injuries. I just want to point out McNeil as an option for those of you who are selling Umbremo. Definitely seems to be important to the cause. Obviously, you have Doucouré as well. DCL may not be playing and Neto will be in front, but it is in terms of picks. If you want to consider McNeil, Doucouré, and Mykolenko are definitely there. I won't recommend Braithwaite. That's all yours exclusively. Okay, on the Chelsea side, we do know that Gallagher is back. So last week they didn't win. They lost against Manchester United. Maybe they need to go down to, because the captain didn't get sent off. Who knows if they get the captain sent off, maybe they'll get a result again. But in terms of injuries, yeah, almost no changes really. So we keep hearing about Nkunku, but then he's nowhere near ready. And as long as he's not on the bench, he won't be ready. So the only question is that is Reece James going to come in or isn't he? So I think those of us who have him and that he was benched in midweek will think he's got to start now. If he doesn't start now, when else?
Sure.
So, yeah.
If he got another benching this week, I think there'll be a concern, and Azmin, you can address him next week. But the other one that I just want to mention here is, Azmin did mention Nkunku. Until he actually come into that bench as a sub, until then, we should think about Nkunku. If not, we just need to play whatever player that we have right now. And yep, Palmer is the one that people are talking about, bomber replacement. Chelsea fixture swing after the Manchester United game, they have decent a long haul, and yeah, Palmer is the one that people are looking at, and we shall see. He's among the top 5 transfer in for this week. All right, so that's Everton versus Chelsea. We have Fulham versus West Ham, 5-0 at home against West Ham, who also win against Spurs. So they on the right form right now. So but Fulham are playing at home. They are monstrous at home right now, man. So what's the latest news?
Yeah, so no injury news for Fulham, really. No, I don't think there's going to be any changes. On the West Ham side, of course, we're all concerned about Areola. So a bit of ligament damage, and I did look it up and checked with some medical correspondences on my end, but ligament damage because he was already on, he already didn't play midweek, so theoretically he's on the mend. So it could be possible that he'll be ready. Because
Is this ligament? I mean, is this ligament damage risk is something that a major one, or is something small?
Well, it can be both. So, but because he says little bit, but of course, this is Moyes who's talking. You know, not his medical advisor. So, but theoretically, he can be okay, but it is a risk. And to be fair, Fabianski did do well against Spurs. So why rush Areola back? But so it does depend. If he's fully healed, then yes, he'll play. If he's slightly uncertain, then maybe he'll get a rest just to give one more week. But bear in mind that West Ham are involved in Europa midweek as well, so that's something to take into account.
So because I am not a doctor, but when I hear this ligament damage, sounds serious. So
sounds serious, right? Yeah, I had to look it up.
Sounds serious, and okay, and I agree with you, man. If there is no rush to put Areola back into the team because Savigi is really a decent replacement. So that's my feeling. If I'm becoming David Moyes, I won't rush Areola coming back for sure because Savigi is just a good replacement anyway.
Yeah. So ligament damage in wrist apparently not as impactful as a ligament damage to the legs, for example.
Okay. Yeah, but I will Google that, man, later, and to see whether this can convince me whether he'll be back soon.
Yeah.
Okay, man. Luton versus Man City, man. Not much interest of Luton Town, but Man City, there are some big players coming back.
Okay, so Luton. Okay, so so Kabore apparently, who I only just discovered yesterday, is actually a Manchester City loanee. I totally did not know. I totally forgot. But Luton will be buoyed. Of course, they lost last time out, but they're going to be very happy with how the team performed and will look to do the same against Manchester City. If they can score 3 goals against Arsenal, why not City? Of course, this theoretically does mean that it could be another high-scoring match. So, which means the captaincy of Haaland can't be ignored. But one thing with City is that Rodri is back. He was suspended last week, so Rodri is back, and we know that signals a better performance from Manchester City in general. So other than that, no changes. Of course, one funny thing was KDB named for the upcoming FIFA Club World Cup, but of course, it's just being named in hopes that he can come in. But if not, then there's still plenty in the squad who can cover. So,
yep, I think with Grealish and Rodri back from suspension, it will be a big news for Man City team. We without Rodri, Man City is a different team. But when he's around, he also has potential to balance out the team and produce an attacking return. Okay.
The only thing I just want to point out is Doku, but we don't have any information. I don't know if that's in the embargo, but he didn't play midweek, but it wasn't specified what the problem was.
Yep. I think with Doku uncertainty, Grealish should be able to start this game. And yeah, with the likes of Foden and Alvarez at the front. Last match, man, Spurs versus Newcastle. We see about tweet on Sun that he might actually injure himself. So what's the latest news?
So Son was shown in a picture showing that he's grimacing in pain, like he was being tortured. So this, but apparently, according to my Spurs correspondent, Spurs crew, that it's something that he does. Like very can be very dramatic when it comes to his injuries, only to turn up the next few hours later looking okay. So it may just be nothing. So we don't know, but we don't think. So the on the other than that, it's fine. No one is returning. And SAR should be okay for this. We know that Richarlison came back last week as midweek as well, so it'd be interesting to see how they shake up, because you could argue that Spurs may have been a bit tired as well due to the shortage of players. Now coming back to Newcastle, on the Newcastle side, then speaking of teams that may be suffering from fatigue, Newcastle is another one. So Lascelles, there's a bit of alarm for news about his injury, but it turns out it may only be a dead leg, which is something that players quickly recover from. So Dubravka was another alarming thing, because considering plenty of people brought him in, he had a couple of knocks, but it doesn't look like it's serious, so he should be fine. So we know that there are certain players like Wilson still out, so we're not going to see that much difference there. Dan Burn, Botman could be ready. We're not sure, but maybe this match still comes too soon for Botman.
My feeling is we won't get any news, and we just played the lights of time. Even you have Lascelles and Dubravka, and just hope they'll play, because I think that's the situation right now. The uncertainty, the quick turnaround, and if I think next week we will tackle them if we have better picture or clearer picture what the situation is.
Yeah, but those with you with Gordon should also note that Harvey Barnes and Wilson may be read not this weekend, but maybe next weekend. So something to take a note of when considering your transfers.
All right, good stuff, man. That's the team news. Top transfer for Gameweek 16. We shall see the top 5 transfer in. Number 1 is actually Cole Palmer. Okay, 357,000 managers has agreed that he's the best replacement, I suppose, from Bomo. The next one is Huang Hee-chan. Okay, also I think with the Bomo news, Huang also another option, and also Gordon, number 3. Despite that, also Bowen could actually be the under radar player, but he's slightly expensive than Bomo. 7.6 million over Palmer, over Huang, over Gordon, to around 5 to 6 million. So those are the 4 options that people are getting in from Bomo. Last but not least, with TAA double digit point, I think before that also he got that big point, and people are swinging in to bring in TAA. They are certain that TAA, I think for the past 5 games he already produced 49 points or something like that. So TAA is really under back into our radar. But the thing is, he is 8 million price tag, and people need to sacrifice someone. In terms of top transfer out this week, no surprise, Mbomo continue to gain out. 1.1 million manager has done that. The other one is, I think, a surprise one, Sun. I think maybe because of those news, or maybe funding for TAA could be. 211,000 has done that. Pope with the injury continue to get into the transfer out, plus Cash and Anderson make up the top transfer out for this week. So what can you comment about the transfer traffic for Gameweek 16?
Yeah, so I guess the one thing when you look at the amount of transfers in terms of midfield, Palmer, Hee-chan, and Gordon in particular, they're all cheaper than Mbeumo and Son, who are the ones being transferred out. So it definitely frees up under funds, and probably maybe that's also made it possible for the purchase of TAA as well. Yeah, so there are definitely some funds being freed up there, making it possible. Pope, of course, huge injury that's ruling him out for months, so that one expected to be sold. Surprisingly, his replacement does not appear in the top five, so maybe it's a bit more distributed between, say, Kelleher or Neto from Fulham, something to consider as well. I think there's also some moves for Sanchez, the Chelsea keeper, but also for Kelleher, although for Dubravka and as well. So it'd be interesting to see the keeper distribution after the deadline is over. So Anderson, surprising transfer out there, but maybe it just signaling the people have lost hope in Crystal Palace being a good defense anymore. But not surprised. But surprisingly, no transfer made it to the top five for transfers of Arsenal defenders. So the people still keeping faith in them.
All right, those are the transfer traffic for Gameweek 16. There's just plenty of option that you can get getting Mbomo replacement for sure. Let's go to, maybe we talk about Captain Pete for this week.
Yep.
The obvious one is Haaland and Salah, but Haaland could be because of fixture against Luton Town, even though away, he's most the best captain candidate. I feel, but Salah also facing Crystal Palace away, but the only thing is because he's playing the early match. What do you think, man?
Okay, so Luton definitely a promoted side and against City, and then Haaland will have Rodri back, so definitely some stability in midfield there, thanks to his return. So not surprisingly, he's the overwhelming candidate. Of course, can't discount Liverpool over Palace. Also, Palace is a side that's going down in terms of their quality and starting to have a lot of niggles. I mentioned Mitchell earlier, and also the fact that Salah is apparently trying to get his 200th goal. He's been stuck for Liverpool. He's been on 199 goals for quite a few weeks now. So waiting for him to finish it off at 200. Is it? Maybe he's just looking a bit nervous. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see how that goes.
All right, mate. Quickly one fixture ticker before we go to our team. Chelsea and Brighton is the top two team in terms of fixture for the next 6 game week at least. Because Chelsea really, after Manchester United, they only play Everton, Sheffield United, Wolves, Palace, Luton, and Fulham. Really nice one. Also, Brighton on top besides Arsenal. They have Burnley, Crystal Palace, Spurs, maybe a tough one, but West Ham versus and also Wolves in the next 6. But I think Wolves also a decent one because he has fixture. He's also in the top ticker. With Forest, West Ham, Chelsea, not so much in terms of difficulty. Brentford, Everton, and Brighton. So also people wanting Huang has also a logical thing why they do that. But careful on the Asian Cup only. I mean for that one, what do you think?
Yeah, so definitely Wolves deserve to be out there. Again, they play Forest first. Even Brighton, who played Burnley first, So for this week, it definitely looks good moving forward. Brighton play Arsenal the week after. That's after the Europe, so it's going to be a bit tough there because Brighton are currently in a must-win situation. So the Chelsea being at the top of the ticker, I feel is a bit not slightly misleading because Everton we know have been much better, especially after they dropped into the relegation zone. They up through that 10-pointer, they've been galvanized. Sheffield United themselves are under new management, so it's interesting to see how they go about it. Wolves we know are a decent side, good side, and have been unlucky, so it's going to be tough as well. But of course, as long you have Crystal Palace and Luton and even Fulham away, Fulham at home will be better for Chelsea, which is a derby. So I can see why you're choosing the likes of Palmer and Huang all coming to the fore because they are at the top ticker. Manchester United are 5th on the ticker. but it's just a case of, do we trust them yet? And plus the fact that even though they're number 5 in the ticker, they have to play first Bournemouth and Liverpool. So those Bournemouth who are no longer pushovers, it's going to be tough. Liverpool's going to be tough. Only after that looks to be easy.
Correct.
But even then, still have Aston Villa there. So going to the bottom of the ticker, Manchester City, of course, are at the bottom because of the blank. But it goes to show that even Brentford, who also have the blank, but they are like number 8 in the fixture, whereas City are at the bottom. So we won't be investing too much in the assets, especially if they're blank. But those of you already on assets will keep them. Crystal Palace who are already in big trouble, and now they are the bottom of the fixture list. It could be really bad. After by game week 19, I'm not sure we might with the Roy Hodgson will even still be there if we can't get some results in the next 4.
Yep. I think you did mention about Chelsea and Brighton. Yep, it could be deceiving, but we are going there anyway. If you're going for Palmer or maybe to a defender like Richie James or even Cowell could be another option for them. In terms of Brighton, yeah, if you want to go Bitoma or even Gross, that's another option for Mbomo replacement. But yeah, the Brighton uncertainty is something that you need to be careful. All right, man. Let's go to our team. We go
Alright.
to your team first.
Yep.
You did mention about rolling a transfer, but what's in your mind right now?
Okay, so it really is. I'm rolling transfers. That's a confirmed thing. So it's just a question of finding out any last-minute injury news and deciding whether or not to field Mope, who plays Sheffield United. So I'm probably in that unique position of having still having a Brentford player to play against Sheffield, because most have exited Mbomo. So the one player I'm considering a candidate for the bench is Gordon, simply because Newcastle have looked a bit knackered, and the fact that Newcastle, I found out statistically, they've only won once away from home, and Gordon has only scored once away from home, and that was trashing Sheffield United 8-0. So he has never scored other than that one match, and Newcastle have a poor record, only winning one away as well. So this is another away match against Spurs. So that's my only thing I'm considering. But assuming Son is fit, of course. But other than that, that really is the only decision I need to make.
All right, I think it's fair. Yep, it'll be interesting whether we might. Yeah, if you got the chance, I think we're gonna play Mope right against Sheffield United. You just feel whether it's over the likes of Zinchenko or even James. The rest, I think you should play. Trippier, Poro, and TAA. We just don't know. They could return at any time.
Yep.
Okay. To my team, I got 2 free transfer and 0.8 million in the bank. And as you can see, I just read out my team first. Areola in goal. Gabriel, Brentford. I'm going to give him a chance against Chelsea, even though Chelsea at home. And Simikas, I feel he's going to start this game against Crystal Palace. And in midfield, Palmer and Mbomo, that's someone I need to address. Saka, San, Salah, Joaquin and Haaland, and captaincy on Haaland right now. And I feel Mbomo I'm going to address. And you can see my budget is quite at low team value. And I have to, if I want to go Bowen back, that could be another possibility. But the thing is, it would eat up my fund, and I cannot. So-called, I'm thinking about upgrading some of my defense. So with that, I feel the news, the move that I'm going to make is Bomo to Gordon. That could be the one that people are going anyway. Newcastle have decent run after the Newcastle game, even though Newcastle against Spurs is not a decent entry point, but it will allow me to fund in defense. And if I downgrade to Gordon, I will have the extra money. I'm intend to bring in Poro if I got the chance, but the thing is, I'm not too sure whether I took out Brentford or Lascelles because Newcastle have decent game in Game Week 18. Home to, is it Luton?
Yep.
Right.
Yes.
Yes. Luton and Everton is actually playing against Spurs, right? So that's where I'm thinking whether what's the right move. I think at the back of my mind, Lascelles could be the right move to take out for Poro because Bournemouth is coming back anytime soon, right? So that could be
Yeah.
another pursuit. But the thing is, the game week 18 is not nice for Everton player. Newcastle is have a better fixture. What do you think, Min?
Yeah. I think Everton are definitely an improved side, even but although they do play Spurs in game week 18, so it might be a bit tough one. But Spurs are not Spurs just in terms of keeping a clean sheet lah. That's why you probably wouldn't want Brentford because definitely Spurs are going to be able to score. I guess it's just a case of I don't know whether are you going to rearrange your bench, so Taylor in front of Archer. I don't know. As Wilder continues to reshuffle his bench, will shuffle his team. Is Archer a guaranteed starter? I'm not sure, but I'd rather you have Taylor in front, as I feel that it's more reliable in terms of him starting. I'm not sure about Archer at the moment. Wilder can still fiddle.
Okay, fair. We shall see how the team will look like. But that's my plan so far. Another opportunity is to bring in Dubravka, but Dubravka also can be uncertain, right? So I might rely on Arola and hope he plays. If not, another 0 points, I suppose, for my goalkeeper.
Okay.
All right, mate. I think we come to the end of the stream. Let's take a look at our FPL Jedi League, of which Abang C continue to be at the top of the league despite only 27 points scored in game week 15. As you can see, his team on the right hand side, you can see a lot of red and yellow pointer. There's no anyone who scored big there. Looks like his team, like my team, Arula only 0 points. Lascelles 1, Gabriel 1. Mitchell coming in for Simikas, but at least he got that 1 pointer. But he's now out for this week. Taylor 1 point. Mbomo, he needs to address. Gordon, Saka, Salah, and Son. No Palmer there, so maybe Palmer is the one that he's going to bring him in. And Haaland up front. I think from his team, what I can see, Visa could be another option that he can bring in into his team. And just play the Gabriel, the Lascelles, and Simiakas. What do you think, me?
Yeah, I don't know. The thing is, he's already used his first half wild card as well. So it is like there's a bit of trouble there. Wisa and Simikas will come in nicely, but even then, he still has other issues to solve. So definitely, he needs to make changes there. I don't think, he didn't make any transfers last week, so he has 2 transfers to use.
All right. Would like to give shout out to other top 10 teams in our league. Abang H second, 1 to 3 goal. He's always sometimes coming into our stream, join our chat and so on. X11, Kamaran Seed, Justin 96 coming into number 6. FPL Futi Merah 7th place. Lab Rats continue to be in our top 10. Setia Wangsa Rangers and The Beast coming into our top 10 ranking. And 953 points. I'm around 32 place or something like that with a gap of 50 points. So that's where you can see how competitive our league is. And if you guys are interested to join our league, do join at league code ZA9F60.
Yep.
Right, Min, quickly on the deadline for this week will be at 7 p.m. Like we mentioned, Gameweek 16 deadline. Don't miss that time and make your transfer. And hit the like button and subscribe to our FPL Jedi YouTube channel to support Azmin.
Thanks.
We got one question before we go
Yeah.
off. View Zamzuri, thank you for the question. View on fielding Maguire this week. I think no issue. They play at home against Bournemouth. Man United could keep another clean sheet.
Okay, so I'm gonna differ on that one. I don't think they'll keep a clean sheet, but you should still field him because he is a set piece threat at headers. So yeah, still field him. Okay.
All right, man. We conclude to our deadline stream Gameweek 16. Your last word.
All the best. Good luck again this very challenging December. Just be careful and be wise in terms of making transfers. Don't knee jerk.
All right. Thank you all for joining. Thank you for watching. Good luck for this Gameweek 16 and see you again next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.